Welcome back, fellow time travelers and comic book aficionados. Coming at you with an episode, a special one, to present an AOK from a subscriber and supporter of the channel and a friend. As a couple weeks ago, I uploaded talking about this unique book, this 4-in-1 Charlton book featuring 4 different stories in one. And in the chat, I was talking with Leadpaint, and Leadpaint pointed out that he had a book in his collection that featured 4 books together in more of a cardstock cover, and it was unique, and it was also Archie. Archie Comics is always a favorite of mine, one that I started collecting many years ago as a teenager and still like to look at today. And Leadpaint got to talking on Instagram, and he sent in the mail a box to uncover, and it happens to be a very unique book, just like the 4-in-1 that I presented not that long ago. Much in the same vein of comics. It's a promo book, it's unique, and let's take a look at it. And opening the box that the comic came in, I received a note right here, a very nice note, and it reads, "Love your channel. I figured you'd appreciate this Archie special, of course. Take it easy, my friend. Signed, Greg, Leadpaint." So great to have this amazing book, one that was never really on my radar, and now it is. And it's a cardstock cover, and it's a unique series that featured 4 coverless comics wrapped in one in this rather thick collection here. It even says on the top it's 160 pages in color, and that's no joke. Even the beautiful colors on the cover and all the Archie inside, including the advertisements as they present. So a mighty thank you to Leadpaint for always viewing the videos that I post and also following on Instagram. And I thank you for this great AOK that will be thoroughly enjoyed and added to the collection of the time-traveling goodness in comics. It's fans like Leadpaint, Anthony Perdue, Rangers Fly, Graphic Man, Spinner Rack Dave, of course, Captain Strangelife, who inspired me to create a channel a few years ago, Silver Age Dave. The list goes on. A great community, and I thank everyone who's commented and posted and has followed this channel as I aim to preserve and document some of the books from the past, as time traveling is something important and brings joy to me. So thanks again to all that comment and watch this channel. It is much appreciated. And since I have my time machine here, why not take a journey with me just to show a few pickups that I received from my local comic book stores. One is Maximum Distraction here in Chicago, and they had a 50% off sale not that long ago, so I was able to jump in and take a look at some bins and thumb through and find some good picks. And also Zombie Unicorn Comics, my local comic book store. Ron and Rob always hook me up with the best comics, always have the great modern one, the latest one, those variant covers that are hard to find, as well as some silver, copper age, and even some golden age here and there. So hang on and let's get into some time traveling. Has anyone seen a UFO lately? I have. From 1975, Gold Key, UFO flying saucers. Saw this in the bin and had to snag it. It's who is blacking out our cities? We have a fantastic UFO colliding with the power lines, creating sparks and darkness, and this great painted cover. I'm always drawn to these painted covers, and this happens to be from November 1975, and it's one of a series of different books. Dell Comics also had those painted covers with Tom Corbett, some Flash Gordon, and more. And this happens to be another great one. Happy to add this to the collection as I have a few from the series. Also, Space is continuing with this Strange Adventure issue right here from 1971, featuring this great cover with this fantastic alien serpent wrapping around the rocket, kind of paying homage to the early 1950s comics showing space travel. And this actually happened to be a Joe Kubert cover. He signed it on the bottom right there, and you could see the people in the interior of this spaceship. So really neat. Much like Pulp Fiction books, they list all the different stories within. You know you're in for a treat for this extra large special right here. And this 25 cents of goodness. And we have some great interior artwork, including a story by Adam Strange. So we might even see some Julius Swartz goodness in there as well. So happy to add this to the collection for $6. Moving it right along. Also, a book that I picked up was IW Comic. Not that long ago, I released a short of some of the ones in my collection, the covers, and also the work of Everett Raymond Kinsler. And his artwork is always very gesturally drawn, a lot of illustrative effect with this copy of Fighting Daniel Boone. It actually reprints comics from 1953, and this one was published in 1963. And Israel Waldman had the pictures and plates to create it, but he often commissioned artists to create the original cover. So the covers are usually original, and one that really fancied most of them was Everett Raymond Kinsler. And this is the IW. There's also the premium quality comics is the very logo right there. So neat to have this, and we'll give it a read to Ranger Sly and the Western followers. This is one for you guys. Been a fan of some PC comics lately, so I picked up a couple, starting out with some Jack Kirby goodness. Right here, this is issue number 3 of Silver Star, and you can see that style and work almost like you're looking at Fantastic Four in a way, or his creations with Captain America, or even Omega Men or more. But this is that Jack Kirby goodness, and this actually comes in the 80s. And also another book by PC Comic is Vanity, with this sultry kind of sexy cover right here. It reminds me a lot of Red Sonja, and this happened to be issue number 1, and one that I really didn't hear about. But I do love the blue background, and this is from June of 1984, where we start to see PC Comics giving us some great artwork. So just $1.50, had to pick that up. So that's my 2 PC books. And also another one actually, Star Slayer number 3, with this marvelous cover. You could see a hand reaching and lurking about as these two are marooned on a spaceship and looking through every corner carefully with weapons in hand. And this is from June of 1982. So Vanity was 84, this is 82, $3. It also has the Rocketeer story featured in the back of it. And the villain of this book, it reminds me of the prototype of the Predator with the long dreadlock wire mechanics in the back. And really need to see Star Slayer. Some great epic covers in my opinion. I mentioned Vanity, why not mention Red Sonja? This book was found as well. This is issue number 9 from May of 1978, and it almost looks like the creature or the thing. It's that green character, and look at the pose that is striking by Red Sonja. Only she can hold the sword back in that particular pose and win, and she does it with great effect here in this colorful cover. You see the oranges contrasting with the green, of course, the red here, right, Anthony Perdue? A good one right there. But I really like this series of Red Sonja because the artwork really stands out, and too bad it was a short run because it really could have done a lot better and longer. but just wanted to show you this goodness right there. Tracing back to my childhood back in 1988 and 1990, when I first started collecting comics, I was watching Saturday morning cartoons like Thundercat and also Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and this happens to be an early issue from March of 1990. I remember eating Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cereal with marshmallows, watching the TV show with a few Archie comic books that I had. Being a kid on an allowance, it was hard to pick up comic books, and this issue right here is actually homage to the Mirage comic by Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird, featuring Raphael, the earlier one, and Archie kind of redid it with this newer character that they introduced in the book. It's a low-grade copy, picked it up for under $3. Was happy to add it to my early Archie TMNT. Also in the bins looking, and it was all sorted in different ways. I was actually happened to find a promo comic with Smiling Jack, and this is from the Chicago Tribune. It also brought Orphan Annie and Dick Tracy. This is a Pop Wheat promo printed on newsprint, so there's no glossy cover, and Smiling Jack is on this one. This is from 1938, and it was pretty good condition for $3, and had to pick it up because I do like some of that Golden Age goodness, especially Smiling Jack featured in Popular Comic. And the back is right there. You can see Dick Tracy and some of the syndicated comics that were presented in the Chicago Tribune. And all the panels are jam-packed. You can see all the goodness right in there. Smiling Jack was always suave. He always had a lady nearby, and he just seemed to get out of pickles rather easily. And some of the artwork with the propeller and the fright and shock was interesting to look at. And I just enjoy these comics here. These are delicate because they do show a lot. So actually a couple Smiling Jack stories and one other in this thinner book is a promo for Pop Wheat. So I'm happy to add it to my collection with the other Dick Tracy one that I have. Charlton goodness always represented here on Time Travel Comics, and there's none other than the Phantom in this later issue, which happens to be issue number 55, and we have a Bengali adventure. So King Comics featured the Phantom, and the numbering continues into Charlton Comic, where we have this one here. And one might argue that the Phantom predates the Superman character, Clark Kent, in the comics, and then he's endured thus far. So between the Phantom and Superman, who came first as an action superhero? But at the time, in the Golden Age, a lot of jungle comics were popular. Sheena, you had the different Kaanga jumping and going through the jungle. So the Phantom was also in that theme. So is he a legitimate hero? We'll see. In the comments, see if that's something that you think is true. Or was Superman the more definitive action hero with special abilities? One of the best finds was a Golden Age book, Blue Bolt, and happened to see this in one of the bins. Was able to pick this one up for $20, and this is issue number 12, volume 3, from May of 1943. And because spring is in the air, pretty soon in about a month we'll be gardening. This cover doesn't really relate to Blue Bolt or even Dick Cole that's featured in there, or even Edison Bell. Those are the main stories that were compiled by Blue Bolt, but this is an interesting cover nonetheless. Kind of gardening right by the shore right here. And I'm going to open this up right now. I have to be careful because if the captain's watching, you make sure that I remove all the tape while cringing, as he's very meticulous and handles his comics with great finesse. And also the back cover features some encyclopedia. This was Google back in the day. I still have my encyclopedia set and I do enjoy it. But this compilation of stories is interesting, and it starts out with Dick Cole as a splash and then moves into some other features, including this one, Sergeant Spook. And it's an underwater wreckage, and it looks like the cannons are still firing. So that's a neat artist depiction. And we also have Edison Bell right there, and that's his story. Turning a few pages, we get into another. So I always like these because they're thick books that have some interesting stories. You can even make a tent on your kitchen table. So tell mom to clear the plates and you can string up a tent. How about that? And even put a giraffe made out of a paper towel roll and some other things like a porcupine, and you could make your own. That's creative. That's great, and happy to see that. And also we have Cap Hawkins' True Tale. I thought it was a spider web, but it looks like they're emerging from the ground. So that's a neat splash page. So there's elements of war because this is 1943. We have the tank treads right there. We have grenade action. And we have Allies and Axis battling out. So look at that. You could even see the rendition. So the war theme was very fresh. It wasn't until after the 50s and the Korean War that some of these war books started to lose its popularity in favor of more hero genre, sci-fi and other horror stories. Because at the time, war was starting to get tiring. But in 1943, it really sold some comics. So just some more great wonder right there. So happy to pick up a copy, a fairly good copy of Blue Bolt that I'll enjoy. Also, Novelty Press presented Target comics. So Blue Bolt and Target comics are both great Golden Age compilations. Because it's spring, I was also able to find for a few bucks a 1948. So we went from 1943 to 48 with Donald Duck, Butterfly, Huey, Dewey, and Louie in this fun spring-like cover. This book has a lot of cover roll. The first wrap was detached, the cover was detached. So I did a lot of work on it with some mending tape, as the captain has taught me how to use, and was able to bring it to a more presentable appeal. But I'm just going to enjoy this. I love the traditional Mickey and Minnie and Disney artwork, so this is a great one for spring. Happy to have that. And my good friends Ron and Rob at Zombie Unicorn Comics were able to hook me up with two great books right here. More recently, with Felix the Cat and Mighty Mouse. Paul Terry's Mighty Mouse. Two 10-cent Golden Age goodies. And what's nice about it is the colors really pop. I really love the green and the reds and the orange. And I thank Ron for keeping a stack of books when he gets them in from trades and buying some collections. He always thinks of me with the Golden Age books. So I was happy to purchase this one and get a great deal on it. If you're ever in Chicago, Zombie Unicorn, Ron and Rob, they do have auctions online. Even if you go on their website, just doing a little plug for them because they've always been good to me. You can even see some of the items that they auction off. They're always willing to work with you on price, and they have some good finds. This one reminds me of the New York city streets, the corners, where you can buy hot chestnut. Of course, it always reminds me of Christmas and the holiday season. And just to open it up, this is issue number 58. I always like watching Felix the Cat on Channel 2, which was CBS in our neck of the woods. And this is from 1954. 1954, Felix the Cat goodness, as he was drawn. A good series run. Toby Press is what was the publisher. Volume 1, number 58. And very cartoony, just like he has his magic bag of tricks. And we have Felix the Cat always engrossed in an adventure. of his own. The circus theme seems to be popular this time around. You can build a tent on your table, or you can order one and put in your basement or backyard. Here's another advertisement for the circus. And more Felix the Cat. So happy to pick up this really nice copy right there from Zombie Unicorn. Just looking at the other one, Mighty Mouse and Friends. We have this one right here, and it's from St. John's Press. Yeah, it is. And it is Paul Terry in the indicia mentioned it's number 47. And the year is 1953. So a lot of 1953 space adventure, including the lobster, who's actually portrayed in green in the book, but red on the cover. Maybe he wasn't cooked, not sure. Those are my recent pickups, and also many thanks to Leadpaint for this great book. Nice cardstock cover, great stories inside. He knows I love Archie, and he hooked me up, and very much appreciate that. So thank you. Thank you to the community and for watching and choosing to spend some time with me, time traveling through comics. Happy hunting, happy comics, and be well.